What's up, everybody? My name is BMax78, aka Brand. This is episode 111 of the Anime Dojo. I'm alongside Chris and Deon. Gentlemen, how you doing?
Doing all right, brother.
About to be better.
I love the fact I've done that so many times to y'all in the middle of us talking, and I just leave that in. You'll hear that on the podcast feed and on the video feed, so look forward to that. You get those randomly. They're little Easter eggs.
Don't judge us.
Very once in a
All I'm
while.
gonna say.
I know. People probably don't mind it as much now. We've got so much. We have a couple things to talk about. We have two stories. One that deals with they're doing something with their studio, which is kind of interesting. Kind of trying to build into the next innovation in anime. So we'll talk about that. We also want to talk about something else, which is kind of interesting. We've kind of already talked about this a couple weeks ago, last couple weeks. Now this is just another nail in that coffin that I think is going to kind of fully get more nailed into more of a thing as time goes on. Also, we're going to pick our two shows for the summer season with our normal dice roll using D&D dice, so look forward to that. And then we're going to go through the charts for week 12, and then we're going to finish out the first half of To Be Hero X with episode 11 and 12, The Queen, which will be fun to get through. We're going to start off with this, though. Chris, I found this the other day, and it's kind of funny. You know, Kowloon Generic Romance.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting a live action adaptation.
What?
That's gonna be your response. Let me
guess. Netflix doing it?
It's not Netflix actually. It's somebody else entirely.
No, bro. Like, no.
Or it might actually be good then.
So Kowloon Generic Romance is going to get an anime live crossover trailer following the anime's final episode. According to the Anime Corner report, this previously confirmed that the anime would be completely adapted of the ongoing manga, so the manga is still going on to this point. And the fact that the live action film scheduled to release in Japan on August 29th, the second half of the trailer features mainly live action showing main two characters. I'm gonna ask this of Chris first. Chris, what do you think about this? Because now that's 4 in the past 2 weeks. Are we just going to be is live action just gonna be a thing now? Is that it?
I'm gonna go back to what I said probably this time last year, if not before. All these are just some rich person's investment. Because at the end of the day, because now from our last podcast, Brandon, we know an idea of how much these animes cost to produce. Therefore, we can I can say that this is somebody's investment. Like they're just putting shows out there just to see how much money they can make from them. These are people who are literally bored with their money. If they're that bored, then they need to give me some. Just saying.
Wait. How bored? Okay, you're saying bored with their money. I can see it, but how bored do you have to be to invest in something like Kowloon General Romance? Basically, you got confirmed the last episode of the season, which was a good show. It was a decent show. I have to give them credit. They did a good job with it, so it's not bad. But like, what? So this was what goes over the edge? What was the thing that made people go, we need to make this live action right now?
I don't know. I probably had to ask somebody that's actually watching the anime.
I'm watching it. I can't see it. Deon, what do you think about this? Because this seems like a little too much, too fast.
Honestly, I seen it coming after my dress up dollar.
Yeah, fair.
And then it's not as convoluted to say they can do it and make it look good, because look at what people are raving about. I had to catch my breath before I said this because the taste on my mouth is going to sound very weird. Look at what people are saying about One Piece. How many people
Wait,
actually like?
wait. Pause. Hold on. Okay. All right. Because I made the same claim to Chris last week, didn't I, Chris?
You did. You definitely did.
And the funny part is, I'm gonna put this out there, ladies and gentlemen. Deon's a One Piece enjoyer. He loves that anime. Him and Chris both. It's funny to me. He's not one for the live action, but yet he will. He just said that. That tells me that One Piece live action is doing so well that people are like, we need to get on this train now. We need to find some money. We need to call producers. We need to. That's insane to me.
You mean to tell me that if you could sell a piece of trash for $1 million, you wouldn't keep digging through garbage?
Yeah. That's a good analogy. That's a good one.
But how far are you digging through garbage to find a piece of gold? That's impossible.
I mean,
so you're covered in shit.
One Piece was at the bottom of the barrel.
What? So you're telling me, Ricky, ticket?
They
Like,
started
literally?
with Death Note. They bleached. They did Yu Hakusho. Like,
Bro, they are reaching. They are really reaching.
they in the barrel. They in there. They swimming through trash, just grabbing stuff.
We're just waiting.
There's some work.
When it comes to this animes, bro, we all know we're just waiting for technology to catch up. That's really what we're doing.
So I'm gonna ask this question: if everybody's looking at One Piece, I'm shocked that I am surely shocked we haven't seen, even though there's a live action play for this, Demon Slayer. We haven't seen Attack on Titan. We technically haven't seen.
Wait, because there is a play version of Attack on Titan, and
there's a musical version of Attack on Titan.
There is.
There's a whole Broadway musical for Attack on Titan.
There is.
How bottom of the barrel can you get, bro? You got Cats, Rent, and Attack on Titan. You put Attack on Titan up there with Hairspray, bro. Well, come on. What are we doing?
You shouldn't.
I mean, bro, Attack on Titan was right next to Wicked, bro. Come on now. And then
come on.
I'm done because if I get into Wicked, I'm so done.
Bro, that's how you know that anime is actually trash. As much as people love it, you can't do a musical version of Bleach, bro. I don't care. I don't care what you do.
No.
You can't do a musical version of Bleach, bro.
You can't do a musical. Okay, here's the thing. You can't even do a musical version or a live action version. And I'm going to put these two shows out there because I don't think you could never do it this day. Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, dude, I knew you were going to go there.
The other one?
But supposedly they're already in production for the next attempt at Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
they tried twice.
They tried. Like it's like giving me the hope.
And
we got. Go ahead.
Watching it now, if you sat down and watched that Dragon Ball Z movie, it's really not that bad in comparison to every live action they're putting out now, bro. And that's how you know that this shit is trash. Excuse me, this stuff is trash, bro.
We're fine. We're good. We're talking about this legitimately. I will say this, as a Mortal Kombat fan.
Oh Jesus! I know you put out the Holy Grail.
I know people dog the new version of the Mortal Kombat movie a little bit because partially the way it looks, but partially the character action. Because the guy who plays Scorpion, when he says "get over here," I think he takes the mask off for it, and it's not in. It's like dubbed over.
You want to know why? You want to know my theory on why people dog out the new Mortal Kombat?
Why?
Because they have something to compare it to that is a classic masterpiece of adaptation to live action. That Scorpion from the original Mortal Kombat movie is the best live action translation of a character you can have. I mean, from the whited eyes to the spear coming out the palm of his hand. Like, there is no better adaptation we have seen of a live action character outside of Iron Man and Wolverine that fit their character so much. You
Because
can't
and to even
replace that.
further that, the fact that you even had to bring it up for as a comparison. That's why I called it the Holy Grail, because that was one of the first games to movie that was a 1-to-1 correct ratio. Even though the special effects were at the time, you can tell it was a top-notch movie that followed the lore and everything.
I mean, even with the special effects of its time, it was still a masterpiece for its time. I mean, because look at things that came out, before and after that. You got things that use special effects like Star Wars and Star Trek and all of these other things that have this world effect to it. This CG world effect, this claymation, this creation world effect. And Mortal Kombat stood out as a champion and looked amazing. The characters fit the bill. You can't tell me I'm sorry, but in this world today, the way that we have gone in this world today, you will not get a better 1-to-1 comparison in a movie, a live action, anything, because of all this cancel culture. There's I want to be whoever. You will not. You will not. They had a white boy play Goku.
Wait, see, okay, that's kind of bad.
They wouldn't have
get down.
did that in the 90s, like the Mortal Kombat 90s.
We go down a rabbit hole because Ghost in the Shell is under that list of the same weird thing they did. But I'm going to bring this up because I thought about it too. You bring up the old Mortal Kombat, and here's the funny thing: then we got I saw the announcement, I think a couple days ago for the new Street Fighter movie, and the actors in that are kind of amazing. The one that kind of boggles my mind though, which was one I didn't expect. I'm like, okay, they're making a new Street Fighter movie. I know the original Street Fighter movie is kind of, not great, not the best live action, but like, and I'm like, Roman Reigns. Why is Roman Reigns in this? Oh, he's playing Akuma. Wait, what? I'm confused. I'm like, why? And I'm thinking, oh well, you kind of can, but that doesn't. I'm like, but barring my mind, I'm just like, we don't need another live action version of that movie because the original version is not terrible. It's not great for its time period.
Which
one? It's not bad. Street Fighter, the original Street Fighter movie.
You said it's not terrible?
It's okay. It's bad.
Bro, they had Jean-Claude Van Damme play Guile, bro. What?
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad.
Their Blanca looked like an anorexic alien. What?
Yeah, that's
bad. Dao Sim didn't even look Indian. He just looked sick. Are you like, what are you talking?
But here's the funny thing.
They chose the wrong actors for the wrong roles.
Correct. And that's the thing I'm kind of interested to see what they're doing kind of romance for live action. You need to find the people who can play those two characters well enough to make sense. But also,
if Dao Sim don't look like Gandhi with tattoos, bro, I don't want to see it.
You fair. Like, the thing I'm more worried about now is what's next. I'm gonna put this out in the ether, boys. I'm not hoping this manifests. I'm just gonna put it out in the ether. If it happens, you can replay this clip later and it'll be all, But I bet you in the next year and a half, by the time we get to the second movie of Castle Arc, we either get a live action adaptation of Demon Slayer, or before we get season 3 announcement for Solo Leveling, we get a live adaptation of that. One of those two things is happening because at this point they've touched a lot of stuff and they haven't touched the big hitters. I know they're not going to try. And my other prediction is the one I don't think will happen, but I can see it also happening. I told Chris this. MASH. I know you don't want to hear that, Deon, but MASH live action could be a thing.
I stopped listening to the moment you said meh. I knew what? Bro, don't waste people money like that. Don't do that to yourself.
But here's the thing. Every day.
Here's the thing. They can do
because
it.
People are going to think it's going to be good. So they're gonna go, they're gonna watch it, they're gonna participate, they're gonna be doing the dance in the movie theaters, they're gonna be boom, 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 yeah. And then it's going to be trash, bro. It's gonna be a hit. It's gonna make billions of dollars and be trash.
I'm gonna ask you both this, and before you turn to the next topic, I'm asking you both this. Do you think, and y'all both seen Just Darling, I've seen a little bit of Just Darling. Do you think that General Calorie Romance would do well enough, Chris, to garner the audience at once?
Actually, yes. Yeah, I think as it coming out too soon, like, see, bro, my theory is what I've seen work are animes that are close to slice of life or have a realistic point of view to them. Usually are the ones that do well. Like that's why I think shows like Demon Slayer would do well because there isn't as much CGI as you would put into it, like you would Bleach or Goku or them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but things like that are the telltale signs of a good, of a good show.
Deon, do you agree with Chris on that same thought? And the other thing I'm going to ask, do you kind of see a thing now where they're going to, like you said, they're going to pick more slice of life. They're going to pick more things that are different. But also, we got the announcement last week. I think it was last week. Prior, we talked about Windbreaker. What is that? Where is that stopping point? Where is that point to where they go, there's no return? We can't go back. If we pick this show, we can't go back live action now.
Well, let me answer that if you don't mind. Thank you.
What do you mean?
Wait. Maybe they already reached it.
Bro, we did Death Note. Death Note.
But
Death Note. What can't you do if you can do what's his name? Rock.
Ronda Crizzle?
The demon from Death Note.
Oh, yeah.
What can't you do if you can do One Piece? What can't you do if you can do the Full Metal Armor from Brotherhood?
Well, see, at that point, at some point, it becomes money. It's about money.
But
because
that's the thing.
What's this going to be though? It's either going to be okay. How much is budget for actors and CGI versus paying a bunch of animators and giving them as much time and money as they want? Like you see what I'm saying?
You're gonna have a mix. You're gonna have a mix between passion projects. You're gonna have a mission between junk throwouts. I'm just doing this to see if I can get some bunch of money out of it. And you're gonna have a mix of actual people trying to make something good, and then it still ends up trash because you don't have the budget for it. So you're gonna have the mix. Like, let's say this. You're gonna have the difference of a Marvel's adaptation, an HBO adaptation, and a Netflix adaptation.
Oh,
and those are all different tiers of things.
Yep.
And right now we're on the Netflix adaptation. That's as high as we have reached. Once we get to the HBO adaptation,
that's when
we get to the Disney, bruh. We haven't even scratched the surface yet.
Disney is already starting their adaptations, so.
But that's what I'm saying. We just now scratching the surface.
But at that point, if we're gonna have all these adaptations by all these studios, and I'm gonna put the brakes on. I'm gonna kind of put the brakes on something and kind of throw cold water on something, a little bit. So I'm not disagreeing with you, not fully. But Disney has the most money, so luckily they could throw anything out there, and
that's what I'm saying. That's why I put them on the higher tier. If Disney starts to make anime live actions, bro, it's gonna come out looking like a movie. Even if it sucks, you can't tell me that the cinematography of any one of their movies is garbage. Nope. People don't downplay their movies because of how they're made. They don't downplay their shows because of how they're made. So if you get anime content with their creative power, that is God tier level creation, and it will send us down a spiral of death into the apocalypse of doom when it comes to the end of anime as we know it.
That's a first of all, that's a lie. And secondly, man, that
Tell me I'm lying. If you're killing anime.
if that's the case, I hope we have some good people that actually want to make some good movies. I hope, because ultimate like good live action. I hope, because that tells me that people are try to throw
Yeah,
things
but
at the wall and hope they
But that's the
stick.
thing, like, but that's the thing that he was saying though. Like, there has to be more people who actually want good shows and passion products. Those are the people we need to meet, not the people who's just trying to throw money out there so they can see what they gonna get. Like
Yeah.
that's where we're messing up at. Like,
You're killing the creation.
people. Let's actually put the people who want to make their shows good with the people who want to make them look good, and give them to the correct studio that's going to allow them the right amount of creative freedom to do their shows exactly the way they need to be told.
Bro, could you
I'm
imagine if Sony got their hands on Demon Slayer?
oh
They do.
oh
No, I'm sorry, but they do. They already
oh
do.
The
oh
live, I'm saying, let Sony
Like,
create a
it's
live action.
Sony
yeah.
is the one making the live action.
Yeah, they are.
Oh,
Sony
well,
makes the. I
it's
think they
gonna be
make the
good.
base.
It's
Yeah,
gonna be fire. That's
Yeah,
gonna
the,
be
yeah, bro.
amazing.
here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Sony
Before we,
puts time into their products. They put characters on the screen that actually fits the character. Sony know what they're doing. You know why Sony knows what they're doing? Who is Sony?
Go ahead, tell
oh,
them. Tell them.
Who is Sony, B?
they're made for. They do movies. They do.
Crunchyroll?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. All right,
Uh-huh.
right. You're
Mm-hmm.
right. You're right. You're
You're
right.
putting anime fans with anime creators on a giant platform that is known for adaptations.
Yep.
Bruh. Had they had let Sony had have done Death Note, bro.
Mm.
What?
I will say this before we move on to
Because
the
that
next topic.
storyline wasn't bad. The
No, the
was
storyline was bad. It's
trash.
just, it's just everything else was weird. Here's the other one, and I put I put Demon Slayer out there. I put some other ones out there. I'm putting one out there that I don't think will happen right away, but I think it will come up. We're getting Sakamoto Days Part 2 of Season 1. Let's just say that cooks, gentlemen.
Now, see, the fact that that's already a Netflix original means that Netflix has first dibs to do their own show.
Correct. Which also means I could see Sakamoto Days becoming a live action down the road. The thing with the live action scene, the space, you need character development. Characters, the scenes, and just characters, world building, and something of a cohesive understanding of what the story's about. If those three things line up together, it'll be fine. If it don't line up together, it's gonna fall off the rails so fast the trains run off the track. I don't know what's next, but I hope we're not just going in guns blazing or flying by the seat of our pants and hoping that we're just gonna throw a bunch of these live actions out there to see what fans like. And if some fail, fine. Some don't do great, fine. We're just going to keep throwing it out there to see how fans take them. You found lightning in a bottle once with One Piece. You can't hope you're going to keep finding lightning in a bottle every single time.
But see, that's my point of it. You call it lightning in a bottle. I call it pissing and calling the rain. And people just sitting outside with their tongues open, like bruh. So if you're thinking of it that way, they're gonna keep doing it. But they say keep throwing fecal matter at the wall and hoping it stick.
Just like the monkeys.
let's get to the other story. This other story kind of coincides with what we're kind of talking about right now. In it's a good sense. In a good sense. So A1 Pictures.
You remember, Brandy? You opened up that door. Remember that.
I did.
You asked for it, bro.
I did open that door. I want to open that door. I like it. I know I can open doors like that, and we can have a good conversation. But I'm fine with that. So A1 Pictures are going to build another internal studio within A1 Pictures called I think it's Psyched Kick Studios. Basically, this internal studio is going to be a new creative labeling studio where they can work on new creations outlets within the company. So basically, what this article saying from Anime Corner, it talks about the fact they're building the studio to kind of have new creative opportunities, challenge young creators, and kind of what we've kind of talked about at the end of this little about doing live action stuff, giving these creators a way to imagine their ideas in the anime world and just kind of do what they want to do have them and learn, but also have them express themselves. I'm gonna ask this question, Deon. I probably know the answer. Do you think this is a good idea for A1 to do? But also, do you think this is going to be a new trend if it works that we see newer, hipper, younger studios with inside companies build up?
Well, honestly, this seems unnecessary. Like, I need that extra sprinkle on my cookie. It's gonna
Wait, repeat what you're saying. You're starting to break up.
Yeah, you broke up a little bit.
Can you hear me now? Can you
A
hear me
little
now?
bit clear. It's clearing up, but
Can you hear me now?
here you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. So I was saying this seems like a good thing, but an unnecessary thing.
Okay.
It's like, do I need that extra slice of cake? Probably not, but it's gonna taste good going down. You know, and the reason why I say that is, why are we building a new studio to do exactly what this studio can do by itself? Why are we adopting a new model when we can just add it to our current one? Well, like, why do we have to create something separate to do something innovative? Why can't we just do something innovative? What is the motive behind that? Are we trying to do something separate, and then if it fails, we can say, well, oh no, that's not really us? Or
No,
if
of
it
course,
succeeds, you
nobody
can
wants to
say,
have their name on a failed project.
right, but it's still your project. It's internal. It's not like you're opening an outside source. It's still an internal thing. That's like if somebody came over to my house and I said, hey bro, I'm gonna cook you steak, but you know what, while you here, you can watch me cook you eggs, but I'm gonna cook it in a different skillet than I cooked the steak in. I still cooked it, Nick. Like,
Yeah.
you still creating this project, so but why I say it's a good thing is because I currently see it being more than what it is. If this does take off, we might even get a studio university where studios are building into a school for just anime adaptations or studio built adaptations. And it's like you go there and not only are you learning and developing, but you're working on current projects and you're working to develop stuff that's out. Like, that's cool, But we'll see. 5 years, make her feel, make her break.
Chris, do you kind of agree with Deon in this sense, or do you have a different take on it?
No, bro, he's absolutely right. Like, he's speaking nothing but absolute truth right now. Like, you got to understand, bro, like, we are in the technological era and where we are seeing things happen within the years that we that we can fathom them. You know what I mean? Like, bro, like we are in the age of our that our forefathers have dreamed of. You know what I mean? Like, and here we are looking to the future, trying to be better than that. So I mean, there is some leeway for creativity and everything that's out there in the world, but right now it's just unguided focus, and that's the way, and that's what it is looking like right now. Just total chaos. There's a mix of
Okay.
terrible
I
shows and some
I
good
don't
shows.
disagree. Yeah, I don't disagree with you boys, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a second, and I'm only gonna do it for this one point. I have a feeling, and Chris, I'm gonna say this with all respect to the studio, but I'm gonna say it with all respect to it. Why does this feel like to me? Why does this feel like to me it's a Mappa situation?
It's about the what?
It's a Mappa situation. So Mappa Studios, how they have their whole internal issues.
Yeah.
Why does
Yeah.
it feel like to me that this
There
is
you
a
go.
way to give the younger animators their own work, but also let them do their own thing, and not in the sense of like they don't want to keep doing the same night grinding of doing the same shows over and over again. It's more or less giving them a chance to still work on those shows, but give them something else to do. But also the thing that kind of boggles my mind about this, what I thought was interesting, it does say mainly young creators, but also it kind of gives me the kind of thing of like you're still going to be working under A1, but you're just working under this other studio to do little projects and things. And it also feels like if it does work, A1 would be propped up like this new um, you're gonna be propped up like this new innovator in the anime space.
Yep.
It just has a weird taste in my mouth, a little bit, but it also feels like a step in the right direction. If you and Deon are saying what is true, and I think Deon brought up the point, if you're going to do universities, have people come out of college and get into these little smaller studios to learn, kind of get the ropes, and then go to bigger projects, that would be kind of cool. But what I see it as a way to get the young people to start, who hate doing the same grinding of the same show, and have them do something different to have more fun, and then get back to doing the other shows every once in a while to kind of keep their stuff fresh. If I'm off, Chris, please tell me. I must sound
Nope.
crazy right now.
Nope. You good? Nope. I understand where you're coming
know
from
what you
completely.
know what you made me think of, though, B?
What did you say?
What if this is just here, kids, go play with your toys while daddy's up here working?
Mm.
That's the other thing I thought about, but I'm also like, they wouldn't do. I hope you wouldn't do that to young people. That'd be kind of bad.
Like, y'all think
bad.
y'all hot. Go do your little thing down there while we keep the big boys up here.
I mean, well, what if it's like a grade? Like, like, hey, you got to be making at least a B double plus and above to be working on this anime or this show.
They'll still feel kind of icky, but if it's a way to help them get better and learn, I can see it. But it also feels like that just kind of tells me you want them at this like A level rank or B level rank or higher to make sure these shows are flawless. But everybody's always like that. Not every show's flawless, by the way. But we'll see. I don't know. I don't know. I think the other thing that kind of boggles my mind with this too, they didn't tell me people were going to be in it at first. They also didn't mention how big the studio is going to be in the internal side. I feel like this will be one of a few announcements. If it works, you'll see other people do it. If it don't, it'll just quietly disappear, like nothing ever happened. But I also think the 5-year thing Deon said makes sense. 5 years, if it doesn't work, it's gone. Kind of like anything else.
If technology doesn't improve the way you need it to in 5 years, I agree with that. Because that's a big if.
Yes, that is a big if. We'll see where this
technology
goes.
should be 3 times the size it starts today in 5 years.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh
At the
yeah.
rate it's been growing.
Yeah. Oh,
Like
yeah.
you realize, like in the next 5 years, they'll be trying to move everybody out of 5G phones and into something else.
6G or whatever the next.
I
Yeah.
And
think,
5
I
years
think
ago,
that,
4G wasn't even a thing. So
Correct.
and I think they're going up to 10G.
Yeah, something like that. They're going pretty high. But we'll see what happens. I want to talk about this. I thought it was interesting. It kind of starts that thing of shaking up the anime world a little bit. There's still cause for pause. There's still things that are kind of like, this sounds cool, but it also can go bad if something just doesn't work out. But hey, at least everyone's trying it. I have to give them credit. They're trying something different. Because what do we hear out the anime world all the time? That the young animators don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over again. It just kind of gets monotonous and boring. And this is a way for them to be more creative and have more fun doing their own thing as well as still working on their project. So if that works out, cool. If it doesn't, cool. If it doesn't, it's not really hurt anything. I don't think it's really we're not gonna hear much about for a while. This is the first announcement of it, but we'll see where it goes. Before we get to the chart, let's get into this. We're gonna pick our shows for the summer season. We've already made our list. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna read out our list. Well, we're gonna read out our list. We'll each have a D8 dice, and we're going to spin for each other's list. So, like Deon will spin for Chris' list, I will spin for Deon's list, and vice versa. We'll get 3 shows. Once we get those 3 shows, we'll add a random fourth from one of our list. That'll be the first set of 4. Then we'll do the next set of 4. That next set of 4 is the 4 that we'll do for the second show. Once we get both, we'll kind of figure out from there. So I'm gonna have Chris roll first. He's gonna roll from my list, and then I'll roll for Deon's list.
Oh boy, here we go. Getting ready for the summer season, picking shows. Woo, woo. Black and the black and the black and the black. Dice. With the 8. Here we go. Okay, I got my D8.
Ready?
Well, no, this is a 6, not the 8. Okay, here's 8. The one that looks like a diamond. All right, fellas. Can y'all still
Gonna
hear
roll
me?
for my. Yep, I can still hear you.
yeah, it's your row.
Yep.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll for my list. What's the number?
5.
5. Kaiju number 8. That's 1.
Oh. How many
Gonna roll
times am I rolling?
just 1. Now I'm gonna roll for Deon's list.
So you gonna roll for me?
Yep.
All right, go ahead then. Let's get
Number
this party
3.
rolling. Ooh. Cosmic Horror Show.
Oh.
Oh.
Kaiju Cosmic Horror Show. And then Deon, you roll for Crystal's list.
Now, when you roll for mine, I made 2 separate lists, so you can either pick list A or list B, but you don't know which is on either.
All right, well then let me see my D4.
No, D8.
1 or 2 I'm picking. Yeah, 1 or 2 I'm picking list A.
Oh, okay.
3 or 4 Well, odd numbers list A, even numbers list B.
Fair enough.
That's an even number. List B.
Right.
Ooh.
And the number is 1.
You said list B or list A? Which one?
List B, number 1.
Let's be number one.
Ooh, Cleavitus.
Oh, what I was talking about
boy.
earlier.
Hey, that's
Okay.
that's my number 1 too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what I'll do for the fourth one, I'll roll my D8, and then I'll just whatever number lands, I'll just pick one of y'all, and you can be your other for the fourth.
Ooh.
6, Deon.
Scooped up by S rank adventure.
Hey.
All right. All right.
That was on my list too.
Okay, so now I'll let Chris. Actually, I'll let Deon do the honors. Your D4. So our D4 for this is Kaiju number 8, Horror Show, Clementis, and Scooped Up by S-Rank Adventure. So roll your D4, whichever one it lands on. That's the first show.
Wait, say that list again.
So Kaiju number 8, Horror Show, Clementis, and the S-Rank Adventurer.
I'm cool with all of them.
So the first dice, the 4 dice, roll that. Whatever number it lands on, that's where the first one we're going to be watching.
For me or Chris?
No, for you. So roll your D4, and that's the show we're gonna. That's
Okay.
the first show we're gonna watch.
My bad.
this season.
My bad. Here we go.
No,
Here we
you're
go. Here
good.
we go.
You're good.
Wow.
What was it?
Y'all want the number, don't y'all?
Yeah.
You really want this number?
Yes.
Hey man, stop playing with my emotions.
I actually like it. I actually like it.
It's either a 1, a 2, a 3, but it's a 4.
Ooh, S-Rank Adventure. Okay.
All
All right. That's gonna be interesting. All right, we'll go in reverse order now. So Deon, you roll for my list. Chris, I'll roll for yours, and then Chris, you can roll for Deon's.
Yeah.
So Deon, you roll for my list for the. It's only one list, so it's just the D1.
Deuce. 2.
Ooh, I'm not gonna do it, but damn.
I saw that one coming.
If it wins, I'll be surprised. But all right.
I don't know. I think one of these lists we end up having like 3 shows on the same one, so we just went with it.
That's usually the case.
I'm gonna do the same thing Deon did for your list, Chris. I'm gonna do split. Odds will be A, or odds. Yeah, odds will be A. Evens will be B.
All right.
So 3 is odds, which means it's list A, which means 5.
Lord of Mysteries.
All right. Lord of Mysteries.
Somebody gonna get a headache watching that one.
That came out today, right? Or
No,
yesterday?
it came out Sunday.
Sunday.
On the first.
First 2 episodes. First 2 episodes came out, and they're 30 minutes long. It's over 30 minutes long.
And boy, is it yeah. My head hurt from watching that one.
Now, Chris, roll for Deon with your D8, and we'll go to the third show.
And the number is 3.
What is 3 on your list, Deon?
Cosmic Horror.
Okay. All right.
That was the same number you picked last time, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the same number. All right. That is fair.
Interesting.
And I'll roll for 1-4 from my list. I'm just gonna do it off the. I'll just do it without looking at it. Okay. Rise of Shield Hero.
That's a good addition to
Veto
that.
everybody else. What are you doing, Rise of Shield here?
I mean, we did that before. I think we did that with Soul. I'm like, the Solo was on all our lists. And
Yeah,
I'll
that's the
let
one where you had it on everybody list like
everybody
2 or
list.
3 times. Like, we're gonna do it.
Okay. I'm gonna let Chris do the honors. Give me your D4, Chris, and we're gonna see which one we get.
Wait, so I'm rolling a D4 now?
Yes, for that second set of 4, we're gonna show them.
Oh boy, here we go. Number 2.
Lord of Mysteries.
Hey.
All right, then, gentlemen. That's not surprising at all.
Bro, I feel like
Okay.
we
Wait,
got
wait,
a
wait, wait, wait,
lighthearted
wait,
show and then a
wait.
really heavy show.
For the first time in forever, we have 2 complete sleepers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Complete sleepers.
And one of them has already showed his behind. Like, woo-wee.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
we're gonna watch the A-Rank Adventurer and Lord of Mysteries for our 2 shows. Lord of Mysteries is already out, so we can get to that next week. We're gonna watch the 2 episodes of that right off the bat because that's 35 minutes for both of those. I think the A-Rank Adventurers is tomorrow, or is it? It's not right away. I don't think it's right away.
Let me see. It comes out.
It's not right. I know it's like really close. It's like close, but it's not that close.
Wait, so for which show?
the Scooped Up by SR
Hey,
Adventure.
Interesting Adventure.
I thought I saw the 5th.
Yes, it is the 5th. It is the 5th. You're right.
Yep.
It's the 5th. So it's the day after July 4th. Yep, it's that Saturday. Okay, that works. Yeah. So those will be our 2 shows, and like Deon said, they're both sleepers. This is going to be very interesting. 2 sleepers that I think most people aren't going to really get it. The S-Rank Adventure one is going to be interesting because I think if you like isekais, that's going to be something you're going to get into. Lord of Mysteries is the one I think people are going to be most surprised by.
But Lord of Mysteries already gave me a headache because it was so deep and so much into it, bro. I'm gonna have fun analyzing that show. Like my brain is tingling, bro. Like for real.
That's the one I think people are gonna have fun with because it reminds me of Entertainable Detective a little bit, but also reminds me of it's the one from Crunchyroll that I love. That's about the guy from another world, and he's the demon thing they fight. Like, there's so many different shows that can kind of.
Oh, Dead My Death Play?
Thank you very much. Yes, that it had the Dead by Death Play vibe of like, oh, there's gonna be a lot of interesting mystery things you have to figure out along the way, and those things are gonna have you'll get answers later down the road. That's great, perfect. But yeah, those are gonna be 2 fun shows. I'm actually kind of surprised. I'm happy we didn't get Kaiju. I'm happy we didn't get Dan. I'm actually kind of bummed we didn't get Hotel Inhuman. That was one on my list.
Yep.
But I'll still watch it. We can get to see how that goes. There's a lot of sleepers in this season.
Well, I mean, let's just be honest. If either one of these shows turns out to be duds, we hope that they won't. We
I
will
was just
quickly
gonna ask.
switch them out for something that is fire. Because
How many do we give them?
I usually Brandon knows me. I used to the first 3 or 4 episodes.
3 or 4. I say between the 2, if anything's going to be a dud, it's going to be the S-Rank. I don't think Lord of Mysteries is going to be a dud because I think they're going to have too much suspense. The suspense is going to be.
I mean, we have seen stuff come out strong and then bloop.
Fall off a cliff. Yeah. But I think that's going to be fun. Let's get into this now before we get to Hero X, by the way. We're going to talk about week 12 in the anime charts. This anime chart is interesting. because I didn't expect this, gentlemen. I'm never gonna doubt y'all again. By the way, I'm gonna give y'all both credit. At number 1, it's Fire Force season 3. Went up 5 spots. At number 2, the Shimigami Family Children went up 2 spots. Superhero X is at number 3. Stayed at 3. Can a boy and girl's friendship survive? Went up 8 spots to number 4. Witch Watch stayed in the chart at 5. My Hero Academia Vigilance went up 1 spot. Jiru Kali Romance went up 3 spots. That's our last episode. That actually did pretty well then if they got the live action announcement. You can see that here. I left my A rank party to help my former student reach.
Man,
yeah. Went up 16 spots to 8. Cinderella Gray went up down 1 spot to 9. And Summer Pocket went up 3 spots. Deon, you wanted to say something about the rip. I'm sorry to cut you off. What is
no? I was cutting you off,
chart?
man. I'm just glad that I left my A rank party is getting some type of love, bro. I love that show. Absolutely, I'm an isekai fan, and I'm a medieval type of world fan. I'm all of that, and this show does it amazing. I mean, it's not even an isekai, but it gives you those isekai vibes, and it does so good at character building. Like, man, I'm glad it got some love. I'm just glad it's on here at least once. But bro, we told you these charts don't sit still. And Fire Force finally got some love that it deserved, that we knew it was gonna get.
Okay.
Took him long enough, really.
Really.
That's the truth. That's actually kind of the truth there.
Chris, like you had vigilantes on this list every time.
Yeah.
And it's nowhere near as good as Fire Force is. So for Fire Force to be on this list too, it definitely should be higher. So yeah.
Is there anything else, Chris, that you do you agree or disagree with Deon with about this chart?
You know what? This is one of those rare moments where I say he can speak for me on that one because I agree. Because these charts don't change. They have been showing that they don't follow no rules anymore.
The one that boggles my mind, and it's the one I didn't expect. Can a boy or girl friendship survive? I know it's been on the chart a couple times in the top 10, but it jumps from 16 or 8. So it's at 4. So it jumped from 12 to 4. That's kind of insane because that means the middle half of the season wasn't doing that. Vigilante is kind of weird because we did get a season 2 announcement. I do remember saying they are going to season 2 like 2026, so we're getting a season 2 of Vigilante. And it's staying in the top 6, but it hasn't hit the top 5. I don't like this. This feels weird because also like Superhero X is interesting. It's been in that top 5. It got to the top 3. I'm guessing the Queen Arc's fun. We're gonna watch both episodes of the Queen Arc tonight. Both episodes are actually interesting. They're actually really interesting. It's short. It's a short arc. It's only 2 episodes for her. But then like the Shimigami Children, Witch Watch is good. I give Witch Watch credit. They deserve to be up there. But then the rest of this list to me is kind of weird. So like Lazarus is 16. Rock's Latest Modesty barely missed the top 10. It's at 11. I actually give them credit. They should be a top 10. It should be a top 10 show, but it's not. So the Demon Hunters 13. Old Country Bumpkin is 14. That's a list right there. Go-Go Lose Rangers 17. Black Butler, who's been in the top 10 prior, is all the way down in 18. What else? I'm looking for something. Where's old? Was he even on here? Might not be on here. Oh, here he is. Forgot one. Yeah. So like old Country Bumpkin's 14. Like things that are good, I think they got their praise, but they're not in the top 10. I could switch some stuff out, and I could put Old Country Bumpkin in the top 10. I could put Lazarus in the top. There are things you could put in the top 10 easily.
We've seen this before. We've seen this before when the top 11 through 20 could easily be the top 10 spot. We've seen this when what was it? What were we watching? Let This Grieving Soul Retire?
Yes, you're right. Yep.
Just because at that point, you say Rock as a Lady's Modesty could be in the top 10. What would it replace?
I think it's better than Vigilante.
No.
I think.
And I say Vigilante's is trash. But
I haven't seen Cinderella Gray, but Cinderella Gray you could flip those around.
I haven't seen that, yeah.
Like, there's some like summer pockets. I don't even know what that is. That in the bottom of the top 10. Like, you could flip flop them too. I don't know what you do. Like, that's just interesting.
Yeah,
you're right. You're right. Chris, go through the other chart for me before we get into episode 11 of Hero X. What's the other chart?
All right. So, bro, this other chart did a whole flip. So, starting out with number 1, we have Apocalypse Hotel. 2, Gundam Suit. 3, Vigilantes. 4, Rock as a Lady's Modesty. 5, Witch Watch. 6, How to Become Ordinary. 7, Fire Force. 8, A Ninja and an Assassin Under One Roof. 9, Calhoun Generic Romance. And 10, A Hari Son of Wakanari. Whatever that romance, whatever that is.
What is this chart? This is so weird.
Bro, they put shows like, okay, everybody been telling me that Apocalypse Hotel's been fired because it's a different type of storytelling of robots it's trying to maintain. We already knew that Gundam was always capable of taking the top spot, just like Fire Force is. Don't really care too much about Vigilantes because people are just riding on the academia trail.
It's better.
I heard Witch Watch is actually pretty good.
Witch
I don't
Watch
care
was-
about how to be ordinary. Fire Force that actually came up for a spot, so we did see that jump. And the rest of these, well, yeah.
I think with Witch Watch is one of those ones where it's a true sleeper in the sense where it's good and I liked it. I think the story's slow, but it worked. Yeah, it's a true sleeper. That's one I think people kind of know about that one. But everything else on that list sounds pretty sane. I don't know. We'll get to once we finish Super X. I want to talk about a little bit about this spring season, and we kind of go through it. But I don't know. This has been a weird spring season. But let's get into Hero X episode 11. This is the first time we're going to meet the Queen, by the way. That's her hero title, as we know it as. This is going to be interesting. We also get to meet another character. And I'm not going to spoil the other character we meet. It's actually a character I think it's funny because Chris always mentions about the animation style. You'll get the tease of that later. But I feel like for this character, it's kind of a weird thing. It ties into what we saw last episode. Kind of gives us other things as well. So little things looking forward to. But overall, I think Hero X is going to end with these last 2 episodes, and they're continuing on. They're continuing on the rest of the season, so we're getting the continuation. I want to see how you keep building these characters and see what people like. We haven't got to see everything, but we're going to see. I think we're going to see most things. But in a second, I will say 3, 2, 1, then we get going. Gentlemen, you ready?
Almost.
Yeah. You know what, though? With this show, I'm expecting nothing good to come from it. I'm expecting a lot of build and no true resolution.
So no payoff.
Wait, from what show?
To be Hero X.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see
But
it.
it,
You do a bunch of build to all these characters. And we don't
but it's technically
yeah.
not ending though. So I'm hoping that they find a moment to turn it around and then give more a perspective from the villain's point of view.
Man, this is feeling like the hero version of 100 Girlfriends.
Oh,
Wow, that's
ow!
yeah,
Ooh, that's a sting to the heart. But I mean, I don't blame
man.
you. That's a sting. That is a very good sting to the heart.
Like,
I'm
I
worried by the way.
love being invested in characters. We can start too whenever you're.
Mhm.
I love being invested in characters, and right now, I can't be.
Okay.
You already got me invested into the first character. And then the second character was really good, but now we don't know where that story is going to go. And it's like you keep lighting my flame just to blow it out again, and it better pay off. Because
Yeah.
right now, it's 12 episodes of world building.
Yeah. So let's go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Road to the Crown, episode 11. We technically have met this character prior.
Wait,
So the last
pause.
episode, huh?
Pause. I thought we were on episode 12.
We are on 11.
So back to all zeros? Or?
Yeah, we can. It's not that much.
You don't have.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
It's only 16
okay.
seconds in.
Ready when y'all are.
3, 1. Let's go. So we met her prior episode as an older adult. I think now we can meet her in her university years, basically. And we gotta tease this already because she was talking at that rally, I think it was. So this is the first time we get to see this whole story of her childhood kind of thing, college years. Deon, I will say this: I don't disagree with you. I think I love Carrollton's character of world building. I do feel like and I remember somebody mentioned this. I think that the studio said they're going to do a thing. Whatever characters fans like, they're just going to continue on with those characters. So it depends on I think if certain characters are really interesting, like Esau, I think it was very interesting to a lot of people. If Queen's interesting, I think Queen continues on that kind of stuff.
But they're building it so that everybody's interested. Oh, did I lose her?
Wait, is she
Nope.
smart? Is she super smart?
She is a genius.
And that's no court. That's no power.
Two years.
Perfect score.
Okay.
To me, this show is like an ice cream sandwich.
Explain.
Please.
Because okay, so let's say you have it looks good, like it's visually stunning. That's the chocolate. That's the chocolate bread they put on the outside. Now all the ice cream middle part is all the story. The more you sink your teeth into it, the more you become afraid of getting brain freeze.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can see it.
Am I making sense?
Yeah, you're making sense. It's basically it's the thing of savoring a good steak, and then you don't want to finish it because it's that good. Because the flavor and the way you cooked it is amazing.
So the thing is, you're afraid to finish it because if you get too deep into it, it's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen before.
We've seen it the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, and with a show that is very similar to this.
Yes, we have
A Netflix show. that is very similar to this. That is, I mean, stylized and everything, very similar to this. It started off with a banger season. Oh my God, couldn't wait for the next one. And then it just got trash. Yes, I'm speaking about Arcane.
I figured you were.
Yep.
Wait. We saw this, Chris. This is their speech. We saw on TV.
Yep.
They're
So now we're
tying
seeing
all
the
the
full.
stories together.
Yep, we're seeing the full speech. Okay, I give them credit. They are tying the story together. That is the one thing you're giving them.
Yeah, if I gotta wait a week for this to come out, do I really care that they tied the story together?
True. I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
It's too many people that's trying to use Netflix's. You know, they're trying to do like Netflix animes and tie them together and make them like they flow really, really well, but that works for Netflix, not for these shows.
I mean, they
Not if you're
tried
not
that.
gonna
Even
binge it anyway.
yeah. Wait. Did she just take their beers away? That's kind of funny.
Yep.
I've never seen that before.
But a bartender can do that at any time.
Mm-hmm. This sounds all well and good, but isn't the story tied to what Esau is doing right now at this point?
Yep.
No.
This ties in
Yes,
what
yes it
Esau.
is.
It's tied before Esau really becomes Esau. But like he's already at that
The
point
new
of like,
Esau dude?
yes, the new Esau, not the young, not the old, the new. And we see them now. So now that really tells me this story connects fully because we see them before we get to see what's her name, Lucky Cyan.
No, this is technically like right before Lucky even becomes a hero.
Yes, this is right before that whole situation.
Actually, this is years before it because
She used to still be a kid, right? Like
yeah,
a little
because
kid,
because our main character, you see her in the last show, and she's a lot older.
a lot older. Correct. That's right. So, but you see the wheels in motion because they pick her up as a hero. Then,
It's only 2 years before.
yeah, only 2 years. $14. Wow. So how old is she when we meet her in the late?
Well,
And
it's 2 years, so 16, which is an adult in other countries.
still in other countries. I'm like here, it's 18.
You know, here
Which
technically.
it may not even be 2 full years. It may be 1 year. Because when she walked off stage, she said I had 2 years to do it. So this may be the 2 years.
Mm.
Oh, look at that, a podcast room. Oh, that's so cool. I love that.
I'm gonna make my studio look like that.
Oh, I wish it looks amazing. So she rose up the ranks quickly.
But that's a different hero.
What are you looking at?
The girl in the purple hair is a different hero.
No.
So that's
What
not
is he
cool.
looking at? What is the guy we've seen before? We've seen that man before.
And the building across there is grateful.
Oh, that's another one of the characters we're gonna meet. He comes up later. I think he's not 2 seasons away or two. And there's the cyan. Okay, they're tying everything back together now.
Yeah, so that's
Why she
all I'm
do it?
saying is right before she becomes a hero.
Yeah, literally right before. So we're getting to see how they level up hero tournament.
Well,
How
this
they
is how they
become
face up.
the Hero X.
Okay, that's kind of creepy. Just smile and just throw her away like nothing.
Yeah, he has a creepy smile.
That is creepy, but it's supposed to be like he's like this.
That's
He's
his
like
hero
the
name.
that's his
Yeah,
hero name, Smile. So I get the point, but just
technically.
his.
What were you saying, Brandon? Did you finish?
I know I say it doesn't feel right because it reminds me of like Superman being like a Boy Scout. That's what kind of the point they're getting at. Like he's just like
Good
Yeah.
one.
that's supposed to be this like version of justice.
And now that I think about it, Superman doesn't really smile at all.
No, he doesn't. Not normally.
Superman is an a-hole.
Yeah. Mm.
Well, you're about to lose.
Not smiling anymore.
Whoa. He's gonna break that arena apart.
I am sure that it is insured.
They probably got a hero that can just build it in a second.
Is that supposed to be the manifestation of fear?
Yeah.
I'm noticed it's a slightly different animation style too.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
They doing the comic book feel.
Yeah, the typical anime style versus this.
Okay. Okay, that's those things aren't realistic, by the way. They are. You can do that for golf, but that's not always possible. So Boa becomes a new hero X. Uh, the queen became in the top 10 before the age of 18. Okay, that's why.
Because he's
But that's
18
not
right
a.
now.
So it was 4 years.
No, it was technically
Well,
two.
no,
Well,
that's why I was saying that 2 years was us getting that graduation speech.
get out of college. Yeah, she went
Okay, so 2 years in
yeah,
college.
2 years in college, then the 2 years to get to the top. 4 years, the rest of the time to get to the top
Yeah.
10. Which is a cool idea. The thing is, we're not going to get to see her. I kind of wish we get to see the growth of that, but we don't get it.
I'm glad we don't.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
Okay, don't be creepy, please.
Bro, I'm telling you, this is the boys. This
Why?
is the
Why
part
is he saying
that
that?
makes this show good.
He sound like a pedo. A win for one of us is a win for all of us.
Is there gonna be tension? Nope. Okay.
So, Brandon, you haven't seen this episode.
Fine.
Huh? Okay.
I'm
And
going
for
blind.
once, me and Deon are not.
I'm only going blind because I wanted to see the 2 episodes together because I think the context is more interesting.
Oh
Is it barrier? Her power is barrier motion? Barrier?
no, it does have a
Oh,
range.
force field. That makes more sense.
Nope.
No, she has kind of like
It's
command whenever
yeah,
she
it's like a
says something.
control thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it has to be within her range.
Okay. That's Johnny. We know that. I know that much. The little cat thing's power is too strong, and it's just a little cat thing. Wait, it's not a contradiction. When did you be called Big Johnny? And never mind. Never mind. Never mind. This.
Now, how are you getting more heroes like that? See, now that, bro, I keep bringing up the boys because that's exactly what it looks like.
So this is also teasing the fact that's how we got our first hero. That's how we got the commoner.
Yeah, through an advertising agent.
And now we get the rock angle. Wow, we're getting to see this now? Oh, come on. I kind of feel that's kind of sad, but that's just me. Look, Chloe's singing there. I okay. I'm Chris Deon. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I fully agree with you now.
And here we are using a clip from the last episode.
I feel like they're trying to tie everything together. The problem is, why would this already be happening? And how is she? And so we know she meets Queen. We get that part, but where does this fit in the timeline? Because that timeline's way off now.
No, it's not.
It just keeps skipping forward from it went all
Right.
the way back, and now it's skipping forward through Queen's story.
Okay. I do like her outfit though. I will say that. Man that becomes Hero X, as they say. He won without doing anything.
Wow, bruh.
Ouch! She burned her.
But whew,
That's bad. That's bad.
that's so
Now that's one
surreal.
thing I wanted to see though.
And Chris, this is where you've seen this episode, but this is where that theory comes in. You know the prior episode where we got the mix of 3D and 2D? I think his power is he can flip between those two, do whatever he wants.
I appreciate you telling me, but I feel like you probably should have, because that's probably too on the nose.
That is too on the nose, but it's funny. Everybody called it out so quickly, which is funny, which is odd because I don't know how you explain that away. How do you explain him winning?
See, my thing, how does a hero who don't even have a name beat somebody like Queen? How does he raise his trust value?
Yes, that's the question, because
That is a good
he
question.
technically shouldn't have it.
Correct. But that's the thing about them. He's a mystery. We don't know much about him. That's the first time we see him. Technically, we see him twice. The second time is a weird thing. Remember when Lucky Cyan was playing the guitar to get money? The coin he's holding. We see that coin go into her little guitar thing. So we technically have seen him twice, but he's not been around.
If this outro isn't the biggest, I'm telling you what's happening.
Yeah. We're gonna let it roll through, but I think this episode is just kind of weird because we're getting a lot of other players now. We got Johnny, we got the mystery man, we got this other girl that works for the same group as Queen. We get Lucky Chloe in this episode because we know that they kind of meet up in the prior. The other thing I will say, I'm gonna say this with all respect to the show. I love the show. I respect the show. I don't think you should have done this backwards. Now thinking about it, watching it backwards, going from 10 to 1 doesn't really make sense outside of the fact you're getting a lot of the extra stuff. Which are not really getting extra stuff at all. You fall into depression?
Yeah,
Oh.
bro. It is been statistically proven that the higher your IQ, the more likely you are to be found in depression at some point in your life. Hmm.
The weird part, they say no name. He is no name. Which is a lie because Queen said she didn't want to do that. Wait, what?
Oh,
Say what now?
bro. Again, I need for them to reveal the twist where it's gonna feel more like the boys than it is the anime at this point.
So you're telling me the man we met inside science thing is Queen's is she the dad of Queen? Huh?
Yeah. Or it
Why
could
in
be
the
just propaganda too.
but okay, in that case, in one whose right mind would you believe that Queen I feel like something's wrong. Did you watch this episode too, Chris?
No.
No. Okay. MMA fight.
Is that old girl fighting though?
That's the girl that became Hero X, the purple hair. Yeah.
Okay.
So she wanted to do it the right way, without being a corporate shield. Basically, we're getting at.
That's what it sounds like.
But ultimately, she became a corporate shield. But actually, if that's the case, we heard her say she didn't want to use. She wanted to do
We
this on her
heard her
own.
say it, but she didn't. From her point of view, it seems like she tried to get lucky because that's all she saw. She didn't hear anything.
Okay. Her hermit. She got in seclusion. She stayed away from people, and now she don't want to say anything. She don't want to talk to anybody.
Look like she been doing some drinking too.
She has a couple bottles of wine. It looks like something else.
And like liquor.
Yeah, it does look like wine. It looks like wine and sake, but that could be just my imagination based on the green. So he told her about cyan.
They're saying that her story and Cyan's stories are closer together than the other stories.
Wow, that's insane. And we get the tease of the plane crash recording.
Yep.
And that's where we get the tease of this later. There we go. Now we see the scene play out initially the way it's supposed to be. So she's depressed. We see her come back. There we go. That's the article. That's the thing we saw. Okay. Okay. All right.
Yep. From the concert.
Concert. But then there's something I wonder then. I'm like you. When is this shoe? Where's the other shoe going to drop? Because now we're just getting a lot of time stuff. Where's the conflict here?
That's what I was saying. Like I need for the next season to be more into what the enemy is doing and who the enemy actually is. Because I mean, we got an idea that it's the corporations that back as heroes, but that can't isn't exactly solidified. Because unlike the boys, where the vault uses the serum, which has a high rate of killing people, among the rate of heroes killing people, this show is based on the thing off the system that makes them heroes. It's a system. But we don't know how that system works, other than they want to abolish it.
Yeah, that's fair. Year 38 after Commoner? I think is what it said. That looks creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Flex. Triple S rank.
I saw that too.
So they're good friends. So they're good friends. The Queen is good friends with Stein and John.
Uh-oh.
Why is she evil?
Remember, she was soaking in some of those orbs and stuff, and while she was having those negative
Yeah,
thoughts.
that's right. That's right.
Mm.
Whoa.
Phew.
And oh, whoa.
Oh, we fighting like Goku and them now, huh?
Yeah, literally, like they're just going after each other at this point.
Ooh.
Did you just do a drop kick?
Is she finna kill her?
Drop kick power slam. What the? Not gonna happen. What's that, John? Move. Somebody move. You cutting through everything like butter. Wait, but didn't she call? Wait. There's something wrong here. Didn't she call our unnamed hero to take on the match?
We don't know who she called. That's the thing. We
Okay,
just
so something's
remember her
up.
saying something.
Oh.
Mm. Whew.
This must be the longest fight we've gotten outside of the Esau's fight.
Well, it technically was the end of season of the first season of the first core.
Like Chris said, she felt the darkness.
Bro, she's low key fighting like Kratos.
Why is this getting to Mortal Kombat levels of like, oh,
Mm. Oh.
Uh-oh.
how? S- s- Somebody stop this girl. Uh, uh, the actual.
Oh man.
Did she just put a light beam through her heart? Oh, she was a bloody mess. Cyan. Okay. What the what's that unicorn looking stink thing? And we're just gonna end there?
Bro, this show can go to hell.
What the
This show can go to hell.
okay. We're gonna talk about both episodes and we're gonna give rankings for both. I think Deon disconnected, so that no worries. But what just happened?
Bro, this show can go to hell.
Like, we got lucky, we got Queen's story. You got beat by the mystery man. We know it's X. Then the girl that she was alongside of at the same agency was mad because Daddy helped her win, helped her get to the top. Then she tried to take it out on Queen in the next episode, basically trying to say that Queen is nothing out with her without her dad's help. Then they have a big long battle in this episode, which ended up culminating because what happened in episode 11. And then the battle ends where they're both super injured. I don't know if the purple hair girl dies, by the way. We don't know that. And then they're like, "Oh, you need to take some time off and go have vacation with Cyan." By the way, her only two friends is Lucky Cyan and Johnny, who we just met in this episode. This power episode into episode 12. Chris, what is this show doing? Because now they're about to go on vacation, then we see this giant kaiju looking unicorn horse looking thing.
Bro, this show had no reason to go as hard as it did on the 12th episode. Bro, for once in a very long time, has an anime had a fight scene last a whole third of the entire episode, and it was a gorgeous fight. Oh my god, bro! Like, bro, bro, that fight that they had cannot be called a chick fight. No, that was a whole brawl.
That was a
And
piercing brawl.
bro, the only rival fight I have seen like that is like the fight in Hunter x Hunter, or the fight between Vegeta and Goku, bro. That was a kill all fight. Oh man,
I kind of feel like this sets your expectations pretty high because ultimately now we're about to go into the next story, and episode 13 is out, and I haven't seen it yet. But we only get 2 episodes with Queen. I think the next character we get 2 episodes. Johnny's next after that. Johnny's like 3 episodes. Then basically we only have like 6 episodes left before we meet X. Because at that point we're like 18. I think it's like that point or something like that. It feels like you threw X in here just to give you a reason to see him, but he doesn't play a role in anything outside of the one time you see him. And the other thing this does, I feel like this girl fight was for good reason, petty reasons, but ends up being a bad thing because Queen feels like she lost the opportunity to be Hero X. But who's pulling the
But
strings?
she can't be mad though, bro, because the old girl ambushed her, and they had a beastie fight, and then you saw how she looked after the end. Like, see, so they
He
even
almost
skipped the part where she passed out, bro. Because the last thing we were standing is that people were arriving after the fact.
yes, yes they were. I I don't know where this show's going. I kind of feel like Deon. I have to give Deon credit. He has mentioned the fact it feels like they don't have. Where's the storytelling? Is this just going to be a bunch of character building? Well, season 2 really has to be very interesting because season 2 you get to build on what you did in season 1. Where do you build from, and who? Um, I'm gonna ask for this for both of these. What would you give episode 11 for rating, and what would you give episode 12 of To Be Hero X for rating?
So episode 11, I'm gonna give a 6.8. It was decently good. Gave us plenty of backstory. Introduced who this main guy, his main mystery guy is. It's a nice introduction to what he is, and then so that's why I gave it a 6 point. Now, episode 12, I'm gonna give it a 5, only because we didn't get very much story when we could have. However, it should be noted for the visuals and that fight very long. Any other show that had any more depth of story, I would have easily given a 10, because
Okay.
that was on point. But only because I did not get any much story into that, I have to give it a 5.
Okay. Okay. I can't disagree. I would give episode 11 somewhere around 6.5, and I would have to give episode 6. Episode 6 or episode 12, excuse me. Episode 12 would have to be like a 5.5, just because it feels like they didn't know where they wanted to go with that episode because there's a lot of moving parts to set up other things, to tell us other things, but we don't know much else. I think technically, and I'm correct me if I'm wrong, we're setting up the thing for I think the purple haired girl story eventually. That's gonna be one arc we're gonna do. I don't know. I feel like that's just crazy to me if they're gonna do that.
I don't know,
I
man.
at this point, I don't know where this show's gonna go. I'm gonna keep watching it over the time period. I know I'm gonna keep watching. I know Chris probably gonna keep watching it. I'm gonna be interested to see how they're gonna explain what X is, who X is, what he's about, why you think he is. But yeah. Um, and before we go, I'm gonna ask you this: what would you give the first half of the season for a rating?
Because of this show is going for 2 cores, it is half of the season. As a show, I'm going to give this a 8. We just need more story, like the stories that they have given us of these citizens turned vigilantes turned heroes. It is a
Okay.
nice, refreshing take on a superhero genre.
Okay.
Even if it does have some similarities to other shows like The Boys, which I keep comparing it to, it still has its own element that takes it out from that, and I do enjoy it.
All right. All right. I would have to say I would agree with you. I'll give it an 8.2, somewhere in there. I think, yeah, there's similarities with the boys, but they're trying to build these characters up, give them backstory, and give us a reason to care. Some characters more than others. I think Lucky Cyan and uh I think Queen are the best intros. I think Esau's story is really good. The Commodore's interesting. That's the first character we meet. I feel like once we get to Johnny and a couple other people, it's gonna be kind of interesting how they're gonna handle those. But yeah, we'll see. It's gonna be an interesting, and I think we'll talk about next week. What was the fall? What's your overall thoughts about the spring season? Now it's finished. Now we're in summer, and with the summer coming up, what's gonna be that big hook for the summer? I think that's gonna be the big thing. But we're gonna stream right there. This podcast right here. I do thank you for watching. I do thank you for listening. Hope you did enjoy. We'll be back next week. We're gonna start off with mysteries. That show we're gonna do. That's the first one we're gonna start off with because there's 2 episodes of that already. 35, between 30 and 35 minutes for both episodes. We can really get deep into those. But also, we also gonna have a S rank adventurer as well. So 2 sleepers, 2 things that are not really on people's radar, and that's gonna be really fun. And then we'll talk about news and other things, charts. We won't get the first chart for the summer until I'm gonna assume not this coming Friday, but the next Friday. So that'll be the first time we see that chart. So look forward to that. But I do thank Chris and Deon for joining me. This will go up on Spotify after processing. It will go up on YouTube on Thursday. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. For next time, see you.
Have a good one. Deuce.